Good day, everyone. Here we are, everyone. This is the Course in Miracles, of course. It's the 71st day in our 2021 calendar year. Take an inhale through the nose. Breathe with me. Slowly make the body bigger. And exhale. Breathe out. Slowly make the body smaller. Keep going. And inhale. And exhale. Perfect. Doing just great. Inhale. Just inviting groups here. I do have a few items of business. One is that soon I'll not be posting onto Instagram. I notice it's taking, I don't know, too much time. I don't get too many viewers there either. So exhale through the nose and inhale through the nose slowly. Hey viewers, say hello. I see you're here. Say hello. Any viewers? If you can you please say hello? I'd appreciate it. Just want to know who you are. So anyways, if you're seeing this on Instagram, come over to Heart Hiker on Facebook and you'll see it there for sure. I also have it in my my YouTube. Everything will be uploaded to YouTube eventually, and that'll be evergreen material so that it's available to future generations to see. Okay, anyway, here we go. This is the 71st lesson in our Course in Miracles, 71st day in our 2021 calendar year, and this lesson is God's plan for salvation. Only God's plan for salvation. Only God's plan for salvation will work. The only plan for salvation that will work is God's plan. As usual, we don't have to believe that, in fact, it tells us here that we'll think it's preposterous. It says that. It says that in the first paragraph. It says we will probably think this is preposterous. But it does say that it'll make sense if we listen, if we hear, if we practice. It'll have a positive effect. Also, if you're popping in here for your first time in this lesson, wherever you're at, in the future or now, that's a funny sentence. But if you're wherever this information is coming at you from, it's holographic information. So if you pick it up at all, if you actually really pick it up, the Course says you pick up all of it. You can't pick up any of it without picking up all of it. If you don't pick up all of it, you don't pick up any of it. That's kind of what it says, but it does seem to also have a progression. It definitely does seem to have a progression. Yesterday, my salvation comes from me, and it cannot come from anywhere else. My grievances hide the light of the world. The day before that, love holds no grievances. The day before that, love created me like itself. The day before that, my happiness and my function are one. The day before that, my only function is the one God gave me. Welcome, Heather Berger. Say hello, anybody. We got some viewers here. Say hello. Let me not forget my function. The light of the world brings peace to every mind through my forgiveness. Forgiveness is my function as the light of the world, and I am the light. I am the light. You are the light. We are the light. We're the light. You're the light. We're the light of the world. Okay, so today, say hey. Goodness gracious. 3 viewers. Say hello. Say hello. Anyways, the only plan that will work for salvation is God's plan. And what's the other plans? We'll talk a bit distinction about that, okay? You may not realize, I'm starting reading right now, you may not realize that the ego has set up its own plan for salvation in opposition to God's. Hello, dear. We may not realize that the ego has set up a plan for salvation which is in opposition to God's. In this plan in which we believe, since it is this plan in which we believe, and since it is the opposite of God's, we also believe that to accept God's plan in place of the ego's is to be damned. This sounds preposterous, of course. Yet after we've considered just what the ego's plan is, perhaps we will realize that however preposterous it may be, we do believe in it. However preposterous the ego's plan is, we may consider that we do believe in it. Thank you, Heather. Paragraph number 2. The ego's plan for salvation centers around holding grievances. It maintains that if someone else, this is a grievance, if someone else spoke or acted differently, if some external circumstance or event were changed, we would be saved. Thus, the source of salvation is constantly perceived outside of ourselves. Each grievance we hold is a declaration and an assertion in which we believe that says, if this were different, I would be saved. If they wouldn't do that, if they would have said this instead of that, if only it would have, then I'd be okay. If we notice, the Course is kind of always saying the same things. It's always talking about sort of the same thing: fear, separation, chaos, meaninglessness, or wholeness, healing, union, love, truth, or something like that. It's always just talking about those. It's almost, especially these last few lessons, it's almost saying the same thing. Hey, grievances, let them go. It's not the plan. It's not the way to go. Okay, anyways, the change of mind necessary for salvation is thus demanded of everyone and everything except ourselves. We say, if this were different, I would be saved. And this, we think that the change, we say that the change of mind necessary is demanded of everyone else except for our own mind, to decide that we don't have to have a problem. There we go. Paragraph number 3. The role assigned to our own mind in this plan, then, is simply to determine what other than itself must change if we are to be saved. According to this insane plan, any perceived source of salvation is acceptable, provided that it won't work. As long as it won't work, the ego is happy with that. The ego continues anyways, right? This ensures that the fruitless search will continue, for the illusion persists that although this hope has always failed, there is still grounds for hope in another place and in another thing. Another person will yet serve better. Another situation will offer success. Such is the ego's plan for your salvation. Surely you can see how it is in strict accord with the ego's basic doctrine. This is the ego's basic doctrine: seek, but do not find. For what could more surely guarantee that you will not find salvation than to channelize all your efforts in searching for it where it is not? And it isn't outside yourself, the Course is saying. Paragraph number 5. God's plan for salvation works simply because by following His direction you seek for salvation where it is, within. But if you are to succeed as God promises you will, you must be willing to seek there only. Forgive the outside. Forgive any outside meaning of this. Otherwise, your purpose is divided, and you will attempt to follow two plans for salvation that are diametrically opposed in all ways. See, the Course is so uncompromising this way. That's why it's intriguing and interesting to us, and kind of intense too. The result can only bring confusion if we have this diametrically opposed attempts. The result can only be confusion, misery, and a deep state of failure and despair. How can you escape all this? Very simply. The idea for today is the answer. Only God's plan for salvation will work. There can be no real conflict about this, because there is no possible alternative to God's plan that will save you. His is the only plan that is certain in its outcome. His is the only plan that must succeed. I think it could be easy to think, how is this might seem like it's in conflict with yesterday's. My salvation comes from me. It seems like it could be in conflict. Somehow I know it's not, actually, definitely I know it's not, but I'm going to see if as we read it along, it tells us how that isn't in conflict. And then maybe I'll explain what I think if it doesn't exactly, because I can tell it's not actually. That's sometimes I'm kind of like, I don't understand that, but I can see how this is not, that those aren't in conflict. I know I can. Can I explain it? I'm not sure. What's up, DC? Thanks, bro. Okay, paragraph number 7. Let us practice recognizing, hey, DC in the house, bro. Let us practice recognizing this certainty today. And let us rejoice that there is an answer to what seems to be a conflict with no resolution possible. All things are possible to God, to Creator. Salvation must be yours because of His plan, which cannot fail. This plan is found inside, in your mind. Paragraph number 8. Begin the 2 longer practice periods today by thinking about today's idea. Only God's plan for salvation will work. And realizing that it contains 2 parts, each making equal contribution to the whole. God's plan for your salvation will work, and all other plans will not. This is a relinquishment, is that the word? Is that how you say it? Relinquishment of all other plans. That's what forgiveness is. It's forgiving that, if only, thanks Nishali for saying so, thank you. If only this would be that way, then I would feel okay. Forgive that meaning. Let it go. Go within, see the light within. Feel okay, We can feel disturbed. We can feel bored. We can feel like I got to do something. But we can sit and pray and meditate. It doesn't come from words. It comes from prayer, which is the use. It can include the use of words. Like at the beginning of this practice today, we say, only God's plan for salvation will work. That's the use of words. But then we go within and pray. Prayer is a little. It can include the relinquishment of words, but it also includes words, or it can. Paragraph number 8, sentence number 3. Do not allow yourself to become depressed or angry at the second part. Don't allow yourself to become depressed or angry at the second part. The second part is that no other plan will work. It is inherent in the first. It's inherent that if God's plan will only work, no other plan will. And in the first is your full release from all your own insane attempts and mad proposals to free yourself. You think, when I make this much money, when I have that thing, when I get that car or something, then I'll feel okay. Then I'll be saved from my pain or something like that. When I have that, sexy relationship or something like that, then I'll be okay. But it's found within is what this is saying. They have led to depression and anger. So all these other plans to go outside, they've led to depression and anger. But God's plan will succeed. It will lead to release and joy. Paragraph number 9. Remembering this, let us devote the remainder of the extended practice period to asking God to reveal His plan to us. Ask Him very specifically, what would you have me do? Where would you have me go? What would you have me say? And to whom? This is the first time in the lesson workbook that the Course is asking us to ask for guidance. And it says here, give Him full charge of the. So at first we're gonna say only God's plan for salvation will work, and we'll say no other plan will. And we may look at all the other ways that we attempted to do this through, connecting with other bodies, buying other cars, having a whatever, gold watch or something like that. And then we're to ask God, what would you have me do? Spirit, what would you have me do? And where would you have me go? And what would you have me say? And to whom? We're to give full charge of the rest of the practice period and let Him tell us what needs to be done by us in His plan for our salvation. Hey, Matt. What's up, Matt? Good day, brother. Good to have you here, brother Matt. I wonder, Matt, if you are familiar with the Course in Miracles. Matt runs a cool website for men dealing with pornography addiction, which is a way that some men attempt to relieve themselves of their pain, and obviously it doesn't work. So the Course is a cool tool along that way. I think that's you run that, right, Matt? I don't mean to. What if you don't? That'd be funny. What? He's like, what? I don't do that. Anyways, okay. I think that's you though. Anyways, God will answer in proportion to our willingness to hear His voice. Oh, cool. Matt's going through the Course right now. Cool. Very cool. So God will answer us this question in a proportion to our willingness to hear His voice. Rose laughs. That's funny. Cool, Matt. You're in chapter 4. Yeah, the Course is an amazing course, eh? Anyways, refuse not. This is a funny. I feel like this reading's a little bit odd today, a little bit different, especially me. Anyways, okay. Refuse not to hear. Don't not hear. Let's refuse yourself not to hear this answer. Tell yourself you will. You're gonna hear. What would God have you do? Where would He have you go? What would He have you say, and to whom? The very fact that you are doing these exercises proves that you have some willingness to listen. This is enough to establish your claim to God's answer. The little willingness. The Course always talks about the little willingness. Okay, paragraph number 10. In the shorter practice periods, tell yourself often that God's plan for salvation and only His will work. In the shorter practice periods, tell yourself often. In the shorter practice periods, tell yourself often that God's plan for salvation and only His will work. Be alert to all temptation to hold grievances today and respond to them with this form of today's idea. Holding grievances is the opposite of God's plan for salvation, and only His plan will work. Try to remember today's idea some 6 or 7 times an hour. Whew, goodness. Try to remember 6 or 7 times an hour. There could be no better way to spend a half a minute or less than to remember the source of your salvation and see it where it is. It is within. Today, when I did the longer practice periods, so there's 2 longer practice periods, 10 to 15 minutes, and when I did longer practice periods, and I asked, what would you have me do? Where would you have me go? What would you have me say, and to whom? I got some interesting personal revelation that it seems personal, but first the thing was, I would have you go within. I was looking for, outside revelation, what to do with my character in time, and what choices to make for, how to move these fingers, and how to speak with what, and what messages to send, or where to, perhaps shop, or something like that. But it was, the voice said, go within. Yesterday's lesson, you go through the clouds, and it was like, go through the clouds, come with me. And I saw, a Jesus guy being like, come with me through the clouds to the light in your mind, inside the mind. And what would you have me say, and to whom? And it was like, I love you. And it was like this echoey experience. I love you. That's what you'd have me say, and to whom? To everyone. So I have this intuition that as we, and I think this is the way it works, as we get in touch with this more foundational part of us, the kingdom within, or the great rays, or the infinite space of awareness, that it becomes something that just kind of sticks, like right here, like right there, and more foundational. And then we allow, I don't know, what is it? We allow our character to act inspiredly. We allow the outside world to do something, intelligently, or perhaps unconsciously, forgive them for they know not what they do. We have this light, inside, and as we touch it more often in the holy instant immersions, then it kind of transfers in the story of our dream unfolding, and we carry with us shareable miracle parables, meaning ways that this choice for what? Forgiveness brings, which is playful, prayerful, and powerful parables of miracles of forgiveness. Holding grievances is the opposite of God's plan for salvation, and only His plan will work. His plan is to let go of forgiveness. His plan is to let go of what is it called? Grievances. All right, everybody. Good day. Ciao.